We are so excited to be hosting a Spanish immersion retreat in Puerto Rico. In this video, I'll cover everything you need to know about the retreat and how to apply. First and foremost, when and where. The dates of the retreat are March 9th through 15th, 2025. That's a Sunday to Saturday, and it will be held primarily in Ponce, Puerto Rico, although we do have a couple day trips planned. You'll be staying in an Hotel Belgica. I've included a picture here so you can get a feel for the rooms. It's not a Holiday Inn type of hotel. It's a lot more personality. It feels a lot more homey. El Hotel Belgica is located in the heart of downtown Ponce and is just steps away from the beautiful Plaza de las Delicias. The amenities include high-speed internet, AC, smart TVs, small fridges, and laundry service for additional costs. You must be 21 years or older to apply. We are not doing any particular drinking activities during the retreat, but because we're in downtown Ponce, we are within walking distance of 50 bars. The drinking age in Puerto Rico is 18. The drinking age in the United States is 21. I don't want any issues with parents, and I am not here to babysit. So to be on the safe side, applicants must be 21 years or older. You must also be at an intermediate or upper intermediate level in comprehension of Puerto Rican Spanish. And I specify Puerto Rican Spanish because hopefully you know if you're applying for this retreat, Puerto Ricans speak fast and tend to drop a lot of letters. It's not the same as listening to a Mexican or a Colombian. And to drive home my point, I'm going to do a comparison here of Mexican Spanish and Puerto Rican Spanish. We're going to listen to just maybe 30 seconds of this video from Luisito Comunica. He is a famous Mexican YouTuber. So let's listen to what he sounds like compared to a Puerto Rican.
De salir variedad tras variedad. Cuando el chef saca un rollo nuevo, mueve platos y lo mete como entren. Miren eso, están amontonados. No, aquí no falta comida.
Mexican Spanish versus. Now let's listen to a little bit of Jay Fonseca. Jay Fonseca is a Puerto Rican journalist, news analyst, and lawyer. Let's just listen to maybe 10 seconds of Jay Fonseca.
Cumplí 40 años. Yo me gradué de escuela pública. Fui a la segunda unidad de Agual Adentro desde primero a noveno grado y después fui a la Campeche en San Lorenzo, escuela pública full. Cuando llegué a la universidad, yo era el único de la escuela de Derecho que era de escuela pública, de mi grupo, de los 30 que éramos en mi grupito, de la escuela de Derecho entran 200, dividida en grupos de 30. Yo era el único de escuela pública, el único. ¿Por qué?
Por si no sabían, los puertorriqueños hablan rápido. And because this is an immersion retreat, all of our activities are going to be done in Spanish. I'll get more into the details of our itinerary in just a moment, but know that there will be activities that require you to follow directions. And of course, I'll help make sure that we're all on the same page, but I'm not going to be there interpreting live, translating everything into English during the activities. So it's very important for you to be at an intermediate or upper intermediate level of comprehension of Puerto Rican Spanish. This does not mean that you have to be at an upper intermediate level of speaking. I've worked with a lot of students who have Puerto Rican heritage, grew up hearing the language, and therefore understand a lot. But because they grew up in the United States, English was really their dominant language that they spoke. Someone along those lines who has Puerto Rican heritage, who's able to understand a lot, but wants to improve their spoken Spanish is ideal for this retreat. You will have lots of opportunities to practice speaking. You will see improvement in your level of speaking throughout the week. But the important thing is that you're able to follow along and learn and get something out of these activities that we're going to be doing in Spanish. Of course, guys, at the time of making this video, you have about 10 months before the retreat happens. So if you're not quite at this level of comprehension, but are really, really interested in doing the retreat, then work on daily listening practice from now until March 2025. As long as you meet those requirements, let's talk about how to apply. The first thing you will see underneath of this video on YouTube is apply here in all caps and a link to a Google form. You're going to go ahead, follow that link, fill out the form, and then click submit. We will automatically receive a notification as soon as anybody submits the form. Then we will review applications and select our applicants by May 31st. If you are selected for the retreat, we will be asking for you to make a deposit by Friday, June 14th. Just a deposit, not the whole cost of the retreat, but a deposit to ensure your spot. And I'm sure that before you decide to commit to this retreat, you'd like to know a little bit about what we'll be doing. Towards the beginning of the week, we have our own private historic tour of Ponce. Ponce is rich in history. I want you guys to get a little bit of a better appreciation of the town that you're staying in, and also learn some of the landmarks, get familiarized with the city right at the start of the week. I'm aware that a lot of our activities will be heavy on the input, heavy on listening, and I want you guys to see real progress in your speaking. So we will have daily speaking practice in small group classes. There will be about 5 students per class, separated by level, and the classes will be structured to ensure that each participant gets good speaking practice. And if you guys are familiar with Sheila from Dialecto Boricua, then I have great news for you. She is going to be teaching a private class for our group. We have a beach day planned. We're going to be doing a community project. The organization that we reached out to hadn't yet had their calendar prepared for March 2025, so we'll be confirming that in the next couple months. I will be teaching a yoga class in Spanish. And our last few potential activities that we're hoping to add into the itinerary would be a cooking class and a bomba y plena class. And in case you're not familiar, here's a little taste of bomba y plena. As you can see, it's like a conversation, a call and response between the dancer and the musicians. And last but not least, our why. I can speak this one from the heart. Traveling and experiencing different cultures changes you and can change the trajectory of your life. This year marks 20 years since I started learning Spanish. And because of that, I'm taking a little walk down memory lane and sharing some of my journey with my community on Instagram. My first trip to Latin America was to Costa Rica when I was 17 years old. And it planted the seed of longing to keep coming back to Latin America, to keep traveling. The impact that it had on me to experience a different culture. I was already working on Spanish at that point, so to be able to use it, to hear it every day, it changed me. And it changed the trajectory of my life. Look at where I am now, teaching Spanish, living in Puerto Rico. Speaking of which, you will be able to experience, if you've never been before, the unique allure of Puerto Rico and its people. It's not called La Isla del Encanto for no reason. Puerto Rico has a magnetic effect on people, and it's not just the beauty of the landscape, the beauty of the beaches. It's really the culture and the fabric of the people. This trip will allow you to make connections with people who are also deeply connected to learning this language. You could even meet future travel companions. I know firsthand how hard this process is, how frustrating it can be, how much it can beat you down. Having a community of people to lean on, a community of people that are just as committed as you are, is really important to your long-term success on this journey. Of course, anybody who's spent time in a Spanish-speaking country understands how much it accelerates your progress in Spanish. The consistency of it, the constant reinforcement of the language and your surroundings, you make a lot of progress in a short period of time. Plus, there is something about being immersed in the language that helps you renew your commitment to the process. It's motivating. It's like you get a little taste of what it's really like to use this language in your life. And you return after these trips with a fire to stick with it, to do the work. And lastly, for those who have Puerto Rican heritage, this is an opportunity to strengthen your own personal connection to the island. This retreat would not be happening if it were not for my right-hand woman and dear friend, Annette Coiratoro. She is Puerto Rican, grew up in Florida. Spanish was her first language, but of course, since she grew up in the States, English became the dominant language. She grew up spending her summers in Puerto Rico. And as her family in Puerto Rico is getting older, she's realizing the importance of nurturing her own connection to the island beyond that of her roots and her family. I'm sure there are a lot of Puerto Ricans of second and third generation that can relate to this deeply. Maybe that they wonder after their grandparents pass, or if their parents pass, then what will be their connection to the island? This trip could be an opportunity for you to nurture your own unique and special connection to the island. If I've missed anything, if you have any additional questions, please let me know in the comments and I will respond to them. Again, you can find the application as the first link right underneath the YouTube video. And I hope to see you guys here in Puerto Rico.